Happy Sunday, everyone, from Code Blue. I made another video. This thing is, ever since I've owned it in the heat, it's had a running hot condition, not an overheating condition. It runs about 212, while all my other friends, they runs anywhere from 188 to 195, but this one just seems to run just a little bit more hotter. So I'm just kind of, before I replace the thermostat, which is kind of a big job, I decided to go with the Brute Performance fan shroud and radiator assembly. Just want to make a little bit quick video on how super easy this thing is to install. I mean, it's time consuming, about 45 minutes, but I've already got it out. As you can see on the bench, this is my old one. I haven't taken it apart to see if the magnets are broken or whatever that they talk about. But the hardest part of this is getting this thing out of here. The thing is these grommets, as you can tell how thick they are, they're actually in between the radiator tabs and the tabs in here. So if you can see the thickness, they both fit in between. The hardest part is getting the bottom grommets out, but it's not too bad. On the instructions, they say to take it out from the driver's side, which you gotta remove that bottle. I kind of went a different route and actually worked very well for me. It is tight, but what I did is I pulled all this plastic off. It's already back together. I pulled all the plastic off, pulled all the pop rivets. You know, pull your grill out, and there's some pop rivets in behind there. And once you get everything loose from the bottom, the two bolts on the bottom, the grommets, they give you new grommets here, so they're just thick enough to go on the radiator itself. And then you put the little metal spacer on the I guess the driver's side of the machine. They pop in through this way. Then you put the bolt. They give you a new washer. Kind of takes up the space. There's a little bit further out, otherwise you'll have a little bit of a gap. But what I did is I pulled, go ahead and pull your plastics. Pull these bolts, pull these bolts, pull these two, pull these two. Pull the two bolts that are on the bottom for the radiator. That way the radiator can move around, forward, side to side. It's a little tight because this radiator neck, you can't really pull it forward that far to get the radiator in, but if you pull the radiator up and you cock it to this side, you can get the old fan out. And also take off this crossbar here. It's just two bolts and these little fasteners here, which you can reuse. And once you do that, just like I said, move the radiator this way and back towards you, and then you can pull the old fan out. And then once the new fan's out, you're going to install the new rubber grommets that Brute Force supplies you. And they're a little tricky to get in there, but they can be done. I just kind of put a little bit of WD-40 and kind of pinched them together, and they fell right in. But once you take this bar out, all it is on the master cylinder, I kind of left it straight up and down. I didn't turn it upside down or anything. Just pull this bolt out and I just tucked it down. I just tucked it down there to where it's safe and out of the way. And the hardest part is kind of getting the old fan out, because if you look at the fan, it's quite a bit thicker than what they send you. So you're going to gain probably a good inch putting it back in. But like I said, it's about a 45-minute job. The instructions are pretty precise. But you'll need, let's see, a 12 millimeter, then your 10 millimeter, your little pliers to pop these little clips off. I popped this one out and the one on the bottom, but you didn't have to do that. I just figured it might give me some more room, but it didn't help. But if you guys have any questions, I haven't driven it since I put the fan on. I just ran it here in the garage, and man, this thing really, it forces out a lot of air. And I mean, the temperature gauge cools right down, but like I said, I haven't gone for a ride in it. I have a thermostat to put in there as a last resort, but I don't know if it's a temperature gauge. I haven't really tested the temperature gauge. It's kind of tricky to get to, but I want to try this first. I mean, it's a bigger fan. It's got a aluminum shroud. It's really robust. It's already pre-wired, new connector. They got this nice little protective wrap on it, so it doesn't get damaged. But I'm gonna see how this one does. But as I was sitting in the shop, I mean, as you can tell, my floor is pretty dusty from this parking spot. But as soon as that fan kicked on, it pretty much cleaned my floor for me. So I guess I can use this as a floor sweeper now with that fan going on. The other thing they had you do is they had you pull out in your relay center, which is behind here. You take out the 15 amp circuit breaker and you put in their 25 amp circuit breaker they supply, and it just draws a little bit, 2 more amps I believe. So they went up to 25, so you should be safe on that. You're not gonna blow fuses and all that stuff. But I like Brute Performance. They make some good products. The guy's super nice. I pretty much buy everything from everybody. But I just want to try this before I put a thermostat. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll put a new update on the video after I go for a ride. It's not going to be today, probably not this week. But he does recommend that you run an alternator on this. But as you can see, I already have an alternator on it. I had it installed when I bought it. I just didn't want to cause any electrical issues. I didn't know what I was going to run as far as electrical. The alternator kit comes with the the backup reverse lights. Those turn green or white, however you want to work it. I have a sound bar. I don't really use it. It was pretty much for my wife, but I hate the thing. If it was up to me, I don't want music. I like to listen to everything that's going on with the machine, but I don't have a whole lot of electronics. I don't have rock lights. I got the regular Kawasaki light bar, which we don't really go for night riding. The whips are off because they don't clear my garage when I'm coming in. But I got, I think they're 7-foot whip, or no, they're 6-foot whips, 5.5 or whatever. Again, fancy stuff for my wife. But I hope this video helps some people out to change this radiator fan. Even if you weren't having a problem with this fan, the stock fan, get the one from Brute Performance, man. This thing it's nice. The shroud's perfect. It goes right in, and as you can see, you're going to gain quite a bit of space. My flashlight died, otherwise I get my flashlight out. But it slid right in. It's a lot easier to go in than it is the old one coming out. But if you have any questions for Code Blue, let us know. Let me know. I'll be checking it throughout the day. I do want to take this out and ride in the heat because it is hot outside right now and test it. I just don't have the time. But I will send you guys an update as she goes along. But other than that, you guys have a good weekend. Code Blue signing off.